Okay, my name's Scott Edden. I'm a partner of Pitcher Partners here in Newcastle, and I'm really happy today to introduce to you Tim Levy, who's here to assist us on our journey to understand tech just that little bit better, and try and give something back to our clients. Tim, welcome.
Thank you.
So the last 20 plus years you've been in that kind of tech space, you've seen a lot of change that's happened. So the birth of the internet and the web and moving through to changes that are happening now. What do you see as that next thing in the tech industry?
The web for me is the first big revolution digitally. And of course business now completely lives on the web, and we buy and sell and trade and so forth all online. What's interesting to me is that twice in one lifetime, which is kind of like two lightning strikes, I think there's a second digital revolution coming. Wow. For me, it's the revolution of interacting with technology moving from 2 to 3 dimensions. The fact is that two-dimensional interaction is actually not very intuitive for humans. These little flat screens and what have you, they're fantastic, but crikey, you have to kind of get used to it. Even typing on a two-dimensional keyboard is kind of odd.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, I understand.
3 dimensions, and of course we're talking virtual reality, augmented reality, is so intuitive, so immersive. When people put on a headset, especially for the first time, and they see the quality level and how far it's come while they weren't watching, they are just amazed at how intuitive, how immersive it is. And then when you apply that to a business outcome, they start thinking, this is going to change everything.
Wow. So look, I've tried VR, gaming, it's been fantastic. So VR is really just for gamers, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tempting to think that.
Yeah.
And certainly a lot of the early momentum has been in the gaming space. But what's actually happening is that in the same way that the internet started off as a gimmick and a fun toy, and then business sort of came on and that's when it really sort of took off, this is what's happening at the moment in VR. We're in those early years. In Australia, if you'd look to get into VR, a year or two ago, you might have been spending $4,000 to $6,000. There's now a device in the market that costs you about $200 to $300.
Wow.
It's changing dramatically. But also the industries that are affected. There are what I call low-hanging fruit industries, the ones you can think about easily, like architecture, real estate development, engineering, where you can, it's apparent. You think, listen, if I'm buying a house...
Anyone in that design space.
Yeah, design space. Let's say I'm in a kitchen, and I want to redesign the kitchen, but I've got to draw it on a flat piece of paper. That's hard, that's difficult to make sense of. But if I'm in VR and I'm in that kitchen and I'm moving things around, changing the tiles, changing the colour, picking things up, moving the fridge until I say that is just right, hit a button, go back to the internet, order placed, and everything shows up ready to go in 48 hours. Right, so you can see in those sorts of industries that it's an easy application, and those who jump in first have the business advantage, the unique proposition. But what people don't necessarily see is how VR is going to change big areas. The entire area of, for example, tourism is going to change from this. The entire area of training, education for schools and children, but of course education and training in businesses too. Yeah. But then anything to do with communication, collaboration.
So very soon we're going to be running an event where we're going to create some actions out of this. So Tim's going to speak. He's going to give you a good background on where all this fits and talk and demonstrate and bring some action out of VR. So you're not going to be left hanging at the end just thinking that's a great discussion. You're going to get to the end and you're going to have some actions to take away. So is there anything else that people can expect from this event?
Yeah, look, I've been speaking to small and large groups of CEOs for something like 25 years, and the pet hate is going to do something that's a waste of time. What you need is to find, I think, speakers, presentations, workshops, where you get some new information, a new concept, get a good understanding, and in the workshop itself, figure out how to apply it to your business and what action steps you can take next to make a bottom line difference to your business. That's my intention, that's my commitment, is to do that in this presentation.
Tim, I'm an accountant and I'm even excited. I'm looking forward to this. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much.
I really look forward to catching up shortly.
Sounds great, thank you.